Our investment in television has had to adapt to the way that consumers have changed their behavior. So consumers over the last 5, 10 years have little by little gotten more advanced in how they watch television. They watch it very differently. People are watching as much, if not more, television than they ever have before. They're just doing it in a way that is unconventional to what we're used to. So General Motors has worked hard to test different types of platforms. You know, you've got the streaming interfaces, you've got the smart television platforms, you've got watching television through a laptop or a tablet or a mobile device. These are all areas that have very unique ecosystems within themselves that we have to blend together to try and get to the same level of reach that we were able to achieve 10 years ago in one channel. So we've been working towards flipping our model from a network to network planning strategy to an audience-based strategy.
With all these shifts, how do you know what works? How have you changed measuring that performance?
We're right now in the process, actually, just this year, modernizing our MMM tool, our marketing mix modeling tool, to incorporate newer forms of measurement. There's brand new technology that exists that was not around 5, 10 years ago that allows us to more accurately and more precisely figure out where our audiences are and how we can reach them at what frequency. And through these kind of tools and the consistent measurement sources that we have to kind of thread together, that gives us a little better visibility to exposures in television that we didn't have 10 years ago. Most of what we did 10 years ago was very survey-based, Nielsen demographics, understanding, trying to reach as many people as possible. Now it's more about, let's figure out who's been exposed to our television advertising and how are they responding to it, whether that be behaviorally on our websites or visiting our dealerships, or even how they're responding to the creative from a branding perspective.
Such a nice segue into the creative, because as we continue to work with the various tools and measurement, it can be very tech focused.
Yeah.
And I wonder, does creative still play a role in the success of your campaigns? How are you thinking about that?
Well, it plays the most important role. The creative development process has also evolved massively over the last several years because people have diversified. People have not only diversified, what they like, what they do, but also kind of what they believe in. And that has forced us to better understand the versatility of people and our target audiences, the different things that they care about, they want to learn about, they want to know about, and we have to adapt our creative accordingly. And now, because of technology, we have the opportunity to dynamically change that creative to be more relevant to these more diverse audiences from a behavior perspective. So that's something that has allowed us to be kind of more versatile in our approach. We do the audience development, and then we build creative that matches those unique audiences across everything that we're doing.
Speaking of audience development, I know that GM has been working with both Dentsu and NBCU
Yes.
on some audience development. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. We partner with Dentsu based on their Merkle identity. They've got a platform called M1, which we merge with our GM first-party data that helps us to build what we call our high propensity audiences. Those high propensity audiences are based on indicators that would suggest someone is more propense to purchase this vehicle versus that vehicle, a Chevy versus a GMC, and even down to a Bolt versus a Silverado. We, with NBCU, part of what we want to try and do is guarantee that our investment is reaching as many of those high propensity audience targets as possible. NBCU has worked with us to incorporate that M1 data and allow us to figure out where those M1 high propensity audiences are across the NBCU network, which is also massive and expansive, and transact in a way that allows us to feel confident that we're getting what we're paying for and we're achieving the reach that we want to achieve with these high propensity audiences that are very, very valuable to us, and ultimately should lead to more effective investment, more effective creative, and sales of our vehicles.
My last question is, we talked about sort of the creative and tech. We talked about audience-based sort of buying versus context. How is GM balancing TV as that medium to drive both brand awareness and actual sales?
So we look at TV as multidimensional. So there are commercials, or there's creative that we build that is designed to evoke a response that would change the way that someone feels about one of our brands: Chevrolet, GMC, Buick, Cadillac, OnStar. And then we manage our media campaign so that that creative message is broadcast to the different networks that show a high propensity of users that are within our target. And so with TV, there's programming that lends itself better to a more general message, a message that's going to influence brand opinion or consideration or brand awareness. And we feel strongly that our messages can do that in television. But we also have opportunities in television at a more local level where we have creative that's designed for that more immediate response. Get to a dealership, or here's a specific vehicle with these specific features that we know that you are interested in because of our audience profiling. So it's basically using television throughout the purchase funnel to drive a consumer closer to the ultimate end goal, which is a purchase of our vehicle.
Thank you so much.